Bully, how was the exam?
It was
Is that what you
tough.
call that?
It was very
Was
tough,
it?
but we wrestled through it. We did well.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I'm surprised you remembered.
I got you. Remember? I always wondered if you're like I assume I actually don't know. Admittedly, you don't have to tell us. I presumably you go to a university in New York City, correct?
Yes.
Is that fair to say? Okay. And I always wondered if you're actually like an economist or if you like I don't know anything about your personal life, and I don't need to know, by the way. But I always wonder, like, or like, are you like a veterinarian? You want to like groom dogs all day, which I.
We got now. We have to know what your major is.
I'll
I
tell you.
have
I'll
to.
tell you.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
I go to work with a spatula and I flip burgers every day.
There it is.
No. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to flip the
Well,
burger.
that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I remember one time I
But
had
yeah.
asked the chat if they could guess what I do for a living, and it was really cool to see what people thought I did.
I would say, are you blue collar? I don't know if you're blue collar. You might be a little too clean for that.
These little
Pretty
hands.
clean.
Construction, maybe.
These
You
little
do have
hands.
nice hands. I don't know. I can't see from here,
I'm
but
building houses.
Hey, someone's got to do it
yeah.
before the bots take all over. Look, I okay. You guys talk for a little bit. This I have like this bothers me like you wouldn't believe. So just give me like a couple minutes, okay?
And I can try mine again too, but health and fitness. Maybe I could see that a little bit. Health and fitness. Is that what you do?
No.
He's a personal trainer, guys. I'm starting rumors.
What up, Breeze? This is Team Utility, baby. Most definitely a data research analysis. Oh. Science teacher.
Firefighter. Oh, that's neat. Yeah. Science teacher. I could see that. I could see that. Like eighth grade.
A professional boxer. You know what's funny? I definitely have a crooked nose. I feel like I broke my nose probably months ago, 7, 8 months ago, 6 months ago, and I had like little little black eyes, and I think it just healed crooked. Maybe it wasn't broken. I don't know if I bruised it really bad or what I did, but I definitely don't got a straight nose anymore.
You can't tell.
A
Hot
hot
dog
dog
vendor.
vendor. I'm actually just a hot dog eater.
You do live in New York, so I think hot dogs is.
There's halal carts everywhere in New York now. Everywhere. I saw one video, and I'm like kind of disgusted to even say this, but there was one video. I don't know if it was a halal guy or like a Chinese restaurant. It was some kind of food industry, where they were grabbing pigeons and putting them in a black garbage bag. The guy had the
Oh,
apron on and everything.
that's not. I don't eat meat, so no
Okay,
meat for me.
as good as it gets. We're doing
Love
serious.
That's great. I would do mine, I swear, but well, I can try it again. Let's see.
So, Bully,
Yeah.
we haven't talked at all. And there's 101 people in here, so we'll get started soon, guys. Guys, before we start, here's a perfect opportunity. If you haven't shared out this live, please do us a favor, send it out to people. You are muted, just so you know, if you were saying anything. Share out the live. This is going to be a show on Suey. So the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. If there are any Suey maxis out there in the chat, please feel free to share whatever information that you have available if we don't get to cover it. This is a show that is based on utility, but it's also based on your participation. So we are yes researching it and giving you the information that we are given. The reason we decided to do this show, if you're new here, is because for us it was really important that we had a regular show with people that I think I could speak for you guys as well, that we three of us know and trust and like each other, and have a similar perspective on the marketplace and where we're headed most of the time. And and for us, it was important to share that information with a long-term investment approach. If I miss anything, Bully, we will please add it. And how we go about researching projects, how we go about finding the details that matter when contemplating investing into something. With that type of perspective, doing your homework will allow you to potentially avoid landmines, and maybe find something that you wouldn't have found, and then hopefully inspire you guys to do similar type of research and maybe better than what we do, hopefully better than what we do. So that's kind of what we're at. Guys, do you have anything to add to that?
Nope, you did great. Jane loves your plants.
Oh, thank you.
Between two ferns with Crypto.
So one of the scammers, I know this is off topic, but one of the scammers, how they have a million fake accounts of you. It was so pretty though. They like created an AI image. It was like maybe color pencil, and it was like me between my two trees. It was so cute. I was like, oh, I kind of hate it, but I actually saved that one. It was cute.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We are never here to try to push you guys to go into a project. We are not telling you go invest in a SUI, nor will we tell you to go invest into anything. We're simply going to give you what our view is, the good, like I said, like the good, about the ugly. And at the end, we'll give you our viewpoint. It's not God's law. It's not written in stone. Just where we are at. Lady Longterm says, I invited Sui Maxi here tonight. Perfect.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, then we want to hear from you for sure. I will say right away that Sui is one of those projects that have always been on my radar. I don't know about you guys. Well, always, as long as it's been around. I haven't invested in it. And I'm interested to hear your perspectives, guys, as we go through this information, because I think it's going to be interesting.
Definitely. I'm excited to learn from you guys.
Ready to go?
We'll let Bully start. Do you want to start it off, Bully? Well,
yeah.
Second.
So always on the show, before we actually talk about the token, the first thing that we always try to ask in Utility Unlocked is, what is the problem that this project is actually trying to solve? Because if there is no real world problem, then there's absolutely no reason for the system to exist. And according to the team behind Sui, the reason for the system to exist is that they're trying to solve what they say is that blockchains are struggling with right now. Blockchains, they say, are struggling with large-scale consumer applications. And these are applications that millions of people are going to use every day. These could be applications of NFT ecosystems. It could be digital assets. It could be games, any kind of social platform. So the vision behind Sui is to create a blockchain that can handle high-performance applications, meaning that the transactions on the network are going to be much faster. They really want to target like high predictability in terms of the performance of the blockchain with low friction. So the goal for this network is that the developers can actually use this ecosystem to build better applications. Now, hearing that, you may ask yourself, well, why is it even difficult? Like, why is that a difficult thing to do with the existing blockchains today? And I think the answer to that is that many blockchains, like many early blockchain networks, were just designed with different priorities. So your early blockchains, they kind of some of them prioritize security, some of them prioritize decentralization, but the actual performance for some early blockchains were kind of like a second thought to them. And maybe a real world example that I could refer to is something like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like the way that those networks work is that the transactions are processed sequentially, meaning that the network is going to process one transaction after the other, kind of like a chain. Transaction A has to finish before transaction B could even start. So inevitably, that's going to create bottlenecks when we start to see like high activity. And when you have a large amount of demand coming into the network, that network is going to lead to like slower confirmation times. The transaction fees could be much higher, and inevitably it leads to congestion. So SUI is kind of designed to approach those challenges a little bit differently instead of forcing the transactions to run one after the other on the network. And it was really kind of designed for scalability, high throughput, to hope that they can have improved applications for that.
Yep. I would just say, and to add to that, how they did it was just with it was built around an object-centric data model and a multi-lane transaction architecture, which allowed transactions to be processed in parallel rather than forcing everything through a centralized bottleneck. So think of everything as like objects as opposed to specific numbers going back and forth. The objects are able to move back and forth, obviously a lot faster, and that was the essence of what they were creating. Do you have anything you want to add, Rachel?
No, you guys pretty much hit it.
Do you guys want to go into what type of system this is?
Go ahead. Absolutely.
Okay. So not every blockchain is built in the same way, right? You have some blockchains where they really focus on payments. Some of them focus on smart contracts. Some of them focus on financial infrastructure. So SUI is actually a little bit different. SUI is designed as a high-performance smart contract platform, meaning that the main goal of it is to support applications so that the developers can build directly on the SUI network. And they took a different approach than other blockchains in terms of like the programming language on the actual application. So most blockchains are treated as like a means of accounting. So they'll say like wallet A has 10 units of something, but SUI organizes that information a little bit differently. They would probably say something like wallet A owns this NFT, or wallet A owns this tokenized asset, or wallet A owns this collectible item. So the information is much more specific, and that kind of it kind of treats they treat the data as objects rather than accounts, and in a sense that improves the transaction efficiency and asset management. So that architecture is kind of what's allowing the network to process more transactions at the same time.
I think I just also it's a proof of stake blockchain, right? So
It is.
that's also one. And because we'll go into it in a second, but because of where everyone came from, the user experience was so important when creating this blockchain. They wanted it to be more like a Web 2, infrastructure. Like, so it was an easily to use blockchain as opposed to the blockage of accessibility for people generally in crypto. They wanted to be accessible for everybody, like Facebook. As easy as that, which is where they all came from, for the most part.
Weewood, do you have anything you'd like to include in here?
No, I don't think so. I figured you guys were going to focus heavy on this part of things, so I didn't really focus too heavy. I focused a little bit more on like integration, partnerships, tokenomics, but from what I did read, that sounds, yeah, you guys nailed it, like usual.
Did you want to add anything else to the block, like the technology behind it?
The transactions are essentially insane. And one of the big things that I really liked about it is this parallel transactions. So like, as I was saying before, they have the ability for these transactions to kind of function at multiple times, right? Most blockchains execute transactions sequentially, meaning one by one, but SUI's blockchain executes transactions in parallel. It allows the process up to almost 300,000 TPS, which is absolutely crazy. The scalability for it is huge. That's probably one of the really cool things about it.
I'm sorry, what was that?
And
I said because I didn't see that.
The parallel transactions.
300,000, is that what you said?
Let me fix my. Yeah, Yeah. So it allows it to process up to 297 TPS because of the way that they execute the transactions. It's not
Gotcha.
sequentially.
Right.
I think that they have like there is like a diagram of how they do it, but they're
Okay.
at the fundamentals, the infrastructure of it is built very, very differently.
Yeah, and
Do
I
you mind if I
will. No, sorry. No, you go ahead,
absolutely
Brooke,
go?
and I'll go after. Because
I'm
you're
gonna.
going to
When I'm
touch on
going,
what he said, and I'm going to touch on something different.
I was gonna go into founders if he didn't have anything else to add.
Oh, let me just add that so you guys probably already said it, but it's a layer one high performance, and it's built to solve the trilemma as well. So it does solve that.
And for
And
everybody else, what is trilemma?
so usually blockchains don't do all three of these things. They only do one and not others. So to solve the trilemma, it's got to be decentralized, the security has to be strong, and it's going to have scalability in it.
Interesting that you said that. I kind of
Oh,
set you up there. So
oh, I'm not surprised.
no, but it's a good question. I want to touch on the decentralized portion of things
Mhm.
because I personally will state that we have proof that SUI, well, one might say that there's not a lot of projects out there that are decentralized when you
Mhm.
actually come to it. And I think that SUI probably, unfortunately, showed that to the world. Uh, and we'll talk about down the road. But so yes, the trilemma, I agree with you. In theory, yes, you're absolutely correct. But
Yes.
I think we showed that, or I think that the validators showed that decentralization, the more we dig into this, is more and more of a myth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I do
Like,
know what you mean. I do. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But yes, I get what you are saying 100%. Bully? Okay. Founders. Let's talk. I kind of touched on it a little bit. These guys, especially the ones I'm going to talk about, they're all from Meta. And one of the fun things I will say out there, because a lot of people are like, "Hey, you know what? This is like a Meta project," and it's absolutely in no way, shape, or form a Meta project at all. Zero. For those of you guys who, I'll just touch a little bit. Meta shut down their blockchain initiatives due to pressures in, I think, 2022, January, maybe, something like that. And they sold all of their intellectual property to some bank. I don't remember its name right now. It's irrelevant to this project. But what the founders of Mistin Labs are the people who created Sui and the ecosystem. They all came from there, and they brought the concepts of the technology, which was Move, over to the idea of where Sui is going to be headed. So it was created by Mistin Labs, founded in 2021 by former senior engineers and researchers, like again from Meta. And Meta had I'll touch. So basically, Meta was creating. They created Novi and Demi, and they created something else. Essentially, one was a blockchain, one was a wallet, um, and yes, they did work with that. You're absolutely right. We'll touch that. Don't worry. The core founding group is Evan Chang, Sam Blackshear. I'm gonna call him Aid, George Denzis, and Costa. We're just gonna go with Costa. Miston's public materials positioned the company as building decentralized internet infrastructure. A secondary founder profiles consistently tie the team back to Meta. So that's why everyone talks about Meta so much. Why this matters? Well, DM, which is the Meta project, failed politically, not because the team couldn't build, and Sui is one of the clearest. What if the DM engineers got to ship in the open market? This is what Sui is kind of trying to bring forward now. A quick look into the founders. Evan Cheng is the CEO and co-founder of Miston Labs. He's a PhD in computer science from the University of California, where he studied compiler design and software systems. This is going to be spoiler alert, everyone in this project, they're all computer geeks. Like we're talking like the smartest tech geeks in crypto assembled in one room. Uh, he was the leader. He worked. He's best known for being the public face at Meta, engineering leadership. He worked at Apple as a compiler technology and low-level software tools. He worked at Intel and focused on performance optimization and compiler infrastructure, and also on LLVM projects. Sam Blackshear is a computer scientist and blockchain engineer, best known as the creator of the Move programming language used by Sui. Obviously, we just talked about it, but also it's used by Aptos, Starcoin, OL Network. George is the chief scientist and co-founder of Miston Labs. I think potentially, I know like everyone, like for people who really love Sui or who have researched Sui, a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, Evan, yeah, but George for me is the one that's, in my opinion, impressive. He is the core research and protocol design mind, particularly in consensus algorithms and network architecture. He has a PhD in computer science from the University of Cambridge. His doctoral work focused on privacy enhancing technologies, anonymous communication systems, and cryptographic protocols. At Meta, he served as the head of security and privacy engineering for the Diem blockchain. And that kind of gives you an idea of I won't go too much more into like who are the co-founders of, well, about the labs, but also Sui. You guys want to add anything?
I'm just reading this now. Fundraising,
Yeah.
led by
Talk
FTX
to me.
Ventures.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
And Mr. Andreessen Horowitz, 36 million. The funding A, right? The first major funding was December 6, 2021. It also included Coinbase Ventures, Electric Capital, Lightspeed Venture Partners, Samsung Next, Redpoint Ventures, Standard Crypto, Slow Ventures, Scribble Ventures, and NFX. At the time, it was valued at $180 million. Only in crypto can you have experience from another project and say, hey guys, we're going to start this thing. It's going to be amazing. Give us $36 million.
But I mean, you're giving it to these guys too. There's some pretty good names in there. I think granted, it does go for a lot of projects, but this one is, yeah.
But so they hadn't built anything. They got funding for $36 million in order to allow the team, as Crypto Weebo just said, to start building the protocol out. June 2022. Actually, do you want to start, Weebo?
Where are you going now? Oh.
Do you want to go into like what happened? Unless you want to say anything fully in the tech. No? Okay. Let's go to year by year. Started in June 2022.
Oh, maybe you're going to have to do that because
No problem. I will. You just let me know when you want to jump in, okay? In June 2022, when Sui announced its incentivized testnet, the team said they had finished building this customized version of Move, which they had originally started over in Meta. It was designed to make writing code easier for developers and allow the network to handle many transactions at the same time. Move was already attractive because it was built to handle digital assets safely, helping prevent common programming mistakes when managing tokens or other on-chain assets. Sui combined Move with a few key choices. Instead of only tracking account balances, as Bully said earlier, the network treat assets as data as individual objects. He already touched on that information, so I'll skip it. The practical result, Sui was designed from the beginning to support applications that require a large number of fast transactions. The tokenomics. Do you want to talk about tokenomics?
Yeah. Do you want me to go into tokenomics? Yeah. All right. So Sui has a maximum supply of 10 billion tokens. The supply is fixed. The community, so token distributions. The community reserves hold 50%, and that's the largest portion for ecosystem growth. That includes staking reserves, validator incentives, and developer grants and funding for projects building on the network. The early contributors hold 20%, and that's allocated to funders, engineers, and early team members who built the protocol. Investors hold 14%, and Mastin Labs Treasury holds 10%. Community Access Program holds 6%. And that's used for early participation ecosystem incentives. So the utility, do you want me to go into the utility? It kind of goes into the tokenomics. So the utility is the transaction fees or the gas fees. SUI is used to pay for transactions and smart contract executions on the network. Staking tokens, token holders can stake SUI with validators to help secure the network and earn rewards. And governance, SUI holders may participate in protocol decisions and upgrades on the network as it evolves. So token release and circulating supplies, a large portion of the supply unlocks gradually over several years. I think it's supposed to be completed by 2030, if I'm right.
It is, yeah.
Not a great thing though. It's a little bit different. Go ahead. Yeah.
I would just add one thing, which is super important about the gas fee part of things. So it's split into two, right, guys? It's split into computation, so processing transactions, and storage, so data written permanently to the blockchain. So that way you don't have that bottleneck when you're when the network starts to get really bogged down. The gas fees don't go spike up like, let's say, in Ethereum back in the day. It's only okay. This is computation, and it keeps it standard, or the price level, which is something that's extremely important to
Definitely.
know.
Yeah. Okay. So where circulating supply increases over time. They have monthly unlocks, I believe.
Like 43 million.
Yep.
Every month. 43
Yeah.
to 70 million every month.
It's a lot.
It's
So I did do some tokenomic strengths and risks. Do you want me to go over those?
absolutely.
Okay. So
If you think it's
strengths,
relative.
I do. I think the strengths that it has a large ecosystem reserve with about 50% of the supply allocated to community incentives. It's got strong validator incentives. It's got a clear utility model. The SUI token has multiple roles within the network, including paying transaction fees, staking. It's built for long-term ecosystem expansion, which I feel is important. So some of the risks are token unlock pressure. A significant portion of the supply is released gradually through vesting schedules for the team, investors, and ecosystem programs. Large unlock events can sometimes create short-term selling pressure in the market. So not great, but another risk is venture capital influence. Early investors received a meaningful share of the token supply while this helped fund the development. It also means large holders could influence the market dynamics with the token unlocks. And then adoption dependency, like most layer ones, this isn't tokenomics so much, but the long-term value of SUI depends heavily on developer adoption, real-world application, and user activities on the network. And that's
The only thing I would add to that is one of the things when I was doing my research that I saw that I really thought was an interesting way to structure your project. One of them was that SUI's economic design is in the storage fund. So they actually charge for storing information.
Mm-hmm.
Blockchains must pay for long-term data storage. Older chains often charge a one-time storage fee, which creates the long-term sustainability issues. SUI takes the different approach. When users store data on the chain, part of the transaction fee goes into the storage fund. The fund is designed to compensate validators, which is, I think, a freaking amazing thing for continuing to build out your network and have people support it and build on top of it. And it also to ensure the network can pay storage costs in the future. So sustainability for the project and for the company, right? If data is later deleted, part of the storage costs can actually be refunded. So you're not always paying these fees for no reason. And this creates an incentive to avoid unnecessary blockchain bloat. The risk side is obviously what you just said, the unlock schedule of it. But again, it just, for me, the fact that they've kind of forward thinking, like if we're going to design a model and base it out to be sustainable, then we need to have the monetary compensation to do so. Otherwise, the project just dies. So I'm that was one thing I did like a lot. Sweet. You want to go into the year by year?
Do you want to
Year.
do
Yeah. 2021. That's
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it all started, guys. 2021.
You want me to go with it or you want to go with it?
You do 2021. I'll do every other year.
Okay. No, you go with it. You got this. Go 20, go through it.
2021, Miston Labs is formed. Miston Labs is founded by former Meta DM talent. As we discussed earlier, this is the incubation year, team formation, architecture decisions, turning DM era lessons into commercial viable public chain design. 2021 is also when they got their funding, which we just talked about at the end of 2021, 36 million to build out that infrastructure. 2022, testnet, tokenomics, and validator onboarding. This is the year that Sui goes from concept to serious public infrastructure. In June 2022, Sui announced its incentivized testnet, calling it the next step toward a secure, performant, decentralized network. In the same announcement, Sui highlighted completion move on Sui. Integrated the narwhal. I love how they did like a theme, and all of it was ocean based. The Narwhal Tusk consensus architecture. It released the first public DevNet and launched the Sui Explorer of viewing transactions. It opened full nodes to the public, and by mid 2022, more than 5,000 nodes were already running across 65 countries on DevNet. In August of 2022, validator registration opened. Sui was explicit that validators, developers, and community participants can join the incentivized testnet process. Miston Labs released the first official Sui wallet, which allowed users to store Sui assets, interact with decentralized apps, and manage accounts. The wallet was open sourced, so developers could integrate it into other applications. There was a massive B funding round in 2022. So if you thought the 36 million was something, then this dwarfs it. Miston Labs raised 300 million in a Series B funding round, valuing the company at roughly $2 billion. Major investors included Andreessen Horowitz, Jump Crypto, Binance Labs, Coinbase Ventures, Circle Ventures, Lightspeed Venture Partners, Franklin Templeton, and Apollo Global. This was one of the largest funding rounds for a new Layer 1 blockchain in 2022 up to date. So it was definitely something that hadn't been seen in the crypto industry. In November 2022, testnet wave 1 went live. The official post openly said they expected bumps and described the first wave as temporary and transitory, while the network matured over time. In December 2022, Sui published its first formal public token allocation, describing the role of Sui in gas, staking, liquidity, and eventually governance. 2023, do you want to do 2023?
Nope, you go ahead.
Okay. Hey, do you have anything to add to 2022? Okay. In 2023, Sui mainnet launches. Very quickly, Sui started producing adoption metrics that really mattered. By July, Sui reached 1 million active accounts just 2 months after mainnet launched. Early categories included, and I saw some of you guys talking about it, gaming infrastructure, DeFi protocols, wallets, and NFT platforms. Examples of early ecosystem was Cetus, which is a DEX, Turbo Finance, which is DeFi trading, the Sui wallet, and the Ethos wallet. At one point, it executed over 65 million transactions in a single day, largely from game test stressing, so making sure that it's working, which Sui described as the most recorded on a blockchain to that date. Those same materials say that the network hit 5,414 TPS in its first 3 months without gas fee price increases. They also had 100 validators participating in the network. June 2nd, Sui partnered with Oracle. Facebook and Twitch using zero knowledge cryptology. Privacy basically depends on how those companies, the third. Ownership, right? That $336 million in 2024 is where Sui moved from high potential chain this upgrade improved how quickly and smoothly the network worked. It did a few important things. What it did was transactions get confirmed faster, meaning users don't have to wait as long. Valid the ability to reach sub-second finality architecture. Obviously, DAG we talked about a couple weeks ago. in 2024, there is a data point there where they did start to work with DAG. So again, you're going to start to see this layer effect with Digital Technologies, or ZAN, announced an ESG focused real world